So it's Sunday and we are craving some good sugary homemade southern food. Autumn is making lemon meringue pie. It is one of the favorites in the house.
With such skill and delicacy.
What do you think, Ryder? It looks good. So here is Autumn's lemon meringue pie. Well, good morning. It is day 16, I believe, of the quarantine here in Peru, and we guys left you this past weekend with just not really knowing what we were going to do and really what our next steps were going to be. So just after a lot of prayer and speaking with our mission board, we were going to try to move forward, and if it was the Lord's will for us to return back to the States. I think for us, we could have played it out in our minds 100 million ways, and we did. There's been a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, a lot of prayer, just really trying to seek the Lord's will and what He has for our family right now. I have beat myself up. Like, how in the world could I have lost those 3 passports? And I did something so crazy. I put them in front of my seat on the midnight flight from Houston to Bogota. Was already completely exhausted, and you know what, the Lord already knew. The Lord knew I was going to lose those passports, and so in the last few days we have been again just trying to figure out how we could get back to the U.S. Praying though also, Lord, if you want us to stay, then close those doors. We are on a complete lockdown here in Peru. I think that the government's really trying to protect the people and to try to stop the spread of the virus. We have been trying to work with our church leaders to see how we can get food to some of these families that are really struggling right now, and our hearts are heavy for the people here, especially because we even find a family of 8 not being able to use a vehicle and trying to get some of the food here at the house, or some of the things that are needed. And we can only imagine we're right here in the center of the village for some of these families who are struggling, that are further out, again, with no transportation at all. It's also been very exciting, I think, on our hearts. For many years, we have really prayed. I know Sean is really trying to seek the Lord on how to get more training with biblical counseling. We are praising God right now because through Southeastern, he's able to get some of this extra training that he's needing, not only to help us here ministry, but ministry even when we're on stateside. It's just been an absolute blessing so far. Well, we just also want to let you know that we are all safe here, and we are just been blessed just by so many of some of the local community here that have been trying to help us out and to try to get us some of the things that are needed. You know, our first ministry is always our kids, and we started really just realizing, you know what, I think our kids, they process all this differently, and I think it just, as parents, it's given us a time to step back and realize, you know what, this is really just a great time to not just only rest in the Lord, but to minister as a family and to unite as a family, and just really communicate more. We all are going to process and think about things differently, and the whole virus is going to affect many different people in many different ways, and it just gives us a time to realize, you know what, how much we need the Lord. I think it has definitely brought us a place where we are fully dependent on the Lord in this. And I want to read in Psalm 9:10, and it is just an amazing verse. It says here, "And those who know your name put their trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you."
Say something. Getting out of the house, going to get food. My bag is heavy, y'all.
What is it?
Rainbow! Rainbow!
Where's the rainbow?
Right up there.
Such a cool rainbow. Okay, we are starting to make some masks for the community. The virus hasn't really hit here yet, but the kids are helping me cut a lot of fabric, and we'll start sewing these together.
Well, there it goes.
What's the mitten now? Mitten now? Mitten now? It's like a decent size right there. Oh, I love these cookies, Dad. I love them. Me too.
Oh my goodness.
It's Saturday afternoon, March 28th. I want to share a couple things since this is Life on a Mission. I want to share a little bit about what breakthroughs we've had as a family over the last week. And first, I want to encourage you guys. I've been just amazed at the challenges that you guys have had to face in the U.S. Not being able to gather at church, the struggles you've had trying to buy groceries and toilet paper, and just not being able to go to work, all the people that are laid off. I mean, it's really horrendous, some of the things that are going on, and it's scary. I want to share with you a few things that I've kind of experienced and learned this week, and kind of narrate how our week has gone. So the first is numero uno. I want to share that this too shall pass. I learned that this week. It reminded me that all things will pass in time. I know that maybe if you're right in the beginning of this, or you're just kind of right in the middle of this, it doesn't feel that way yet, but it will. Everything comes and it goes and it passes, and no matter how overwhelming this moment feels, it will pass. So take comfort in that. I needed that message this week, and it finally came to me as I was being overwhelmed with all the news media and all the questions that were popping up. So it kind of leads me to the second point. Don't live, or better yet, don't react or live in fear. So with all the things that are going on right now in the world, I understand how challenging it is not to be afraid. But we can't be afraid forever. We can't stay in an emotion of fear. One, God didn't make us that way. He asked us, to not be afraid, to not fear the things that we can't control. Really what we want to do is we want to move towards an emotion or a reaction of love. What I've learned this week is that as I was being consumed with the desire to know what was going on constantly, watching news all the time, being overwhelmed, being kind of consumed in fear, that this wasn't going to be good for me. That initially it was survival mode. We find ourselves, we've got to go to the grocery store, we've got to pick up groceries, we got to have a plan, we got to know what to do, etc., etc. But after that's complete, then becomes the waiting, and you sit around and you wait, and you realize that if I stay in this heightened level of anxiety, that I can't be productive, I can't be healthy. This is not healthy for me or my family. Fourthly, determine if your actions demonstrate love. So at first, it's very normal, and I've seen it all over the world right now, is you are afraid and you think about yourself and you run and you overbuy, and all you can think about is, what can I do for me and my family? And then you find yourself not really demonstrating love. And I also found very quickly, as difficult it was for us to be quarantined, to be stuck in the house, the most loving thing I could do right now is just stay away from others. I know it's difficult not going to church and gathering. It's difficult not being at work and being around your extended family and friends. It is a challenge, but it is the most loving thing that we can be doing right now. And so I hope that you guys have come to a place where you see that. Finally, let me leave you with this. Don't waste your quarantine. You're going to be in this for a while, so let's not waste it. A couple things we could do. One, our family started cooking new recipes. We started to play games, and I recently just started an online course. Educate yourself. Take the time to read a book. Do the things that you've always wanted to do, but you haven't had time, because now you have that time. So don't waste your quarantine. Don't let this pass and you just were froze in front of your TV for 8 hours a day and let the day pass without doing anything productive. But take the time to maybe call someone that you haven't talked to in a while and just see how they're doing. See how you can love on them. So that's my message for this week. Love you guys. Take care.
What's up, guys? Today, since we are locked in our house for quarantine, we have decided to come up with a new game. It is called what's it called, like? TJC. So, it's pretty much like Pig, but on a trampoline.
Trampoline jumping contest in the rain.
Okay.
You have to do exactly what the other person does. So they have to land it first, but if you jump and you land like with a hand on the ground or you fall on your knee or something, it does not count and you get a point. So who's ready to lose some letters or gain some?
River has no idea what he's talking about. What is he?